Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and in this video we're going to be looking at 5 reasons why you shouldn't buy the Google Home, or more importantly, the Google Home Mini. So, let's take a look. Now I just want to preference this video by saying that I really enjoy using my Google Home, and for those occasions when it does come in handy, it does a really good job. However, there are some times when it does unfortunately let me down, and it's not the most useful thing if you don't have a smart home, and that's kind of what we're going to be concentrating on today. Now the first issue that I have is no audio feedback when asking the Google Home a question. If you were to go ahead and ask a question, you do get 4 indicator lights at the top of the Google Home. However, if it is totally across the room, you're not 100% sure if it has or hasn't heard you. Now most of the time it is going to pick up what you say, however to get some sort of visual cue that it has definitely 100% heard you would be a nice touch. There has been certain occasions when I have said that key phrase that I'm not going to say out loud, I'm just going to put it on screen just here to save you guys some hassle, and I don't know if it's actually picked up on my voice or not, so I have to say it again, and that's then what it picks up on, and it comes back with some information that I don't necessarily need, and it hasn't actually picked up on the question that I was originally going to ask. Now if you did have some sort of audio feedback, much like what you get on your phone for example, that would then allow you to move on with your question without having to hesitate and think, has it actually heard me yet? Next up then we have the actual sound of the Google Home Mini itself. Now don't get me wrong, when it is giving information in regards to answering any questions you've got, it does a pretty good job of doing so. However, if you are using it as a completely Bluetooth speaker, streaming something like Spotify to it for example, it's not necessarily the best speaker. There's other budget speakers that you can get that I've actually done some reviews on here on the channel, and I'm going to have some linked in the description below, that in my opinion do a much better job of being a standalone Bluetooth speaker, and then you can always use your phone for the Google side of things. Now I have heard some good things about the Google Home normal size and also the Max, however you're then stepping up the price point, and I personally haven't had a chance to listen to them, so I can't really give my opinion on those. However, because of the size, I do think that they maybe will have a little bit more bass than what you're going to get with the mini version, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. Next up is the price point, and this is both a good and bad thing. Now I'm going to be doing a completely separate video on 5 or more reasons why you should be getting the Google Home, but that's going to be later on this week. For now though, in regards to the price, it's not necessarily the cheapest option. Now the main reason why I say that is they did have a sale where you could pick one up for as low as £34 here in the UK, which is definitely a really good deal. However, at the normal price of $49.99, and with Google expecting you to have one in nearly every room in the house, it can definitely get a little bit pricey. If you're in a house with maybe 6 or more rooms, then you're definitely going to know the cost. You're going to have one in the lounge, the dining room, office, bedroom, the list goes on, and also the price is going to go up as well. Now for me, using Google on my phone is not really that much of a hassle. It's got voice and also text input as well, so if I am out and about or not in a specific room with the Google Home Mini, then for me it's not really too much of a problem. And that then nicely brings me on to number 4, which is the fact that pretty much any mobile device or even TVs or just anything technical these days has Google built in, or at least some way to access Google. So for me, pulling out my phone, asking it a question, or just going to google.com, that for me isn't really too much of a hassle, and I've always got something close by that I can access Google really quickly. So although it is nice to have something that you can just talk to, some of the reasons that I've mentioned on this video already is maybe why it's not necessarily the best way to access Google and all of the information. Plus, keep in mind that the Google Home and also the Mini only do audio feedback. If you're looking for any sort of pictures or videos, yes, you can ask it to put it onto a TV if you've got a Chromecast for example, but it may not always choose the right one, and to actually visually scroll through pictures for example, or video, or just in general get some sort of visual feedback is definitely a great option to have with the standalone Google application, or like I say, just the Google website. And lastly, and probably my biggest reason not to get the Google Home or the Mini, is Amazon done it first with the Alexa. Now I am actually going to be getting my hands on the Alexa, so I can do a direct comparison between the Google Home Mini and the Alexa, and that's going to be specifically for those of us that don't necessarily have a smart home and just use them for things like information, music, video, and all the streaming services that you can get. But with the amount of time that Alexa has been out and all of the different devices that Alexa now comes on, it's definitely putting some competition up there for Google. Now at CES they did announce some new options with having a screen built in for example, which kind of gets rid of some of the issues that I had beforehand with the Google Home and just in general asking it some questions, but with Alexa, in my opinion, it may be a little bit better based on what I've seen online. But I'm going to have to get my hands on one to give you a definitive answer, but that may be a reason why you may not want to go for the Google Home Mini. And that is going to do it, guys, for this video. Now, do keep in mind that I am a huge fan of Google and also the Google Home Mini, and I've had mine for a pretty long time and I do use it on quite a regular basis. However, some of the things that I mentioned in this video definitely made me question whether I should have waited for the next generation, maybe the Mini Home 2 for example, but again, we're going to have to wait and see. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you've got any questions or comments, or if you've had any issues with your Google Home, let me know in the comments section down below or on Twitter at Copper vs Glass. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook for some really awesome giveaways that we've got coming up very shortly, and also for more great content moving forward, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.